What's up everyone, it's Gentry Stein. Today we're going to learn a brand new yo-yo trick, so welcome to episode number 15 of my Learn To Yoyo series, where I'm teaching the basics of yo-yoing all the way up through some pretty sweet advanced tricks. If you're wondering what would be a good yo-yo to follow the series with and start practicing, check out the Yo-Yo Master Pack on my website, gentrystein.com. That has everything you'll need to follow the entire series. In this episode we're going to learn the trick Boomerang, which looks just like this. And if that looks a little bit too advanced for you, you can start back at episode 1 of this series and go from there. To get started with Boomerang, what we're going to do is throw the yo-yo and put our opposite pointer finger, so our pointer finger from the hand that the yo-yo is not attached to, straight forward into the string. And this one starts similar to the elevator, where we bring that throw hand down and then slide the yo-yo up halfway up the string. And that's actually where we're going to be bouncing the yo-yo from. So if we can get the yo-yo under control right here, that's where we're going to start the trick from. Once we have the yo-yo under control right here, what we're going to do is bring our throw hand under. So the yo-yo is actually sitting on the string at this point. And what that's going to achieve is make this L shape right here. What we're going to do with that is actually use that L shape to launch the yo-yo out forward. So if we have the L shape here and we pull our bottom hand down, that's going to straighten out this string. And what that'll do is actually push the yo-yo forward out to here. And once the yo-yo is out here, we've shot it out in front of us, then the yo-yo is going to come back. And as the yo-yo is swinging back, we actually want to line the string up. So with our throw hand, we're going to line up the string right with the gap of the yo-yo. And that's going to allow us to actually land the yo-yo back on the string, recreating that L shape, and then pulling our bottom hand down. So as I'm doing the trick like this, it might be a little bit hard to see all that going on. It just looks like the yo-yo's bouncing back and forth. But as you break it down, you can see that if I do it slowly, it goes to here, then I push it back out. Then it swings back in, I line the string up, push it back out. So that's the best way to actually practice this trick, is to break it down step by step like that. So that way you're not trying to do the whole thing and you end up missing the string like that, and it can become really frustrating. So let's break that down again, do it step by step. Once we get the yo-yo halfway up the string here, let our hand go under, creating that L shape. Then we're going to pull that bottom hand straight down, launching the yo-yo forward. As the yo-yo starts to swing back, line the string up with the gap of the yo-yo, bring that hand back up into the L shape, and just repeat the same thing. And as we practice that, we'll be able to start to get the feel for it. It might look like that. And once we feel comfortable with that, we can start to do it in a more fluid motion. And then you can see the trick starts to come together and it looks really cool. Now, one thing that might happen as you're practicing this trick, just like with the elevator and the brain twister, if you haven't learned those yet, you can go check those out in previous episodes. I'll link those down below. But the same way as in those tricks, when we bring the yo-yo onto the string, it's very important that we know how to control the yo-yo so it doesn't tilt, because as we're practicing learning something new, it's going to be really easy to forget to keep our hands lined up. So you don't want to pull either hand side to side like this. You can see if I push my throw hand this way, it tilts the yo-yo off the string. So as you're launching the yo-yo out, you want to make sure to keep that bottom hand and the top hand lined up. So if you don't keep them lined up, it's going to look something like this. And it's going to mess it up each time. Let's say I move my bottom hand to the other way this time, see what might happen. So as you can see, the string's not lining up with the gap of the yo-yo, but even if I've lined it up, when I go to launch it back out, if I move my hand to either side, it's always going to mess up the trick. Just remember to keep it step by step, and the most important thing is to just keep the string lined up with the yo-yo again. So as we're launching it out, L shape, push it back out. You can also see that as I'm doing the trick, I'm doing it slightly to the outside of my body a little bit. Still enough to where I can see where the string lines up, but not completely in front of me like this, because that's going to be a lot harder to launch the yo-yo out. And you might find that as you're doing it that way, if you miss the string, the yo-yo might hit you. So we want to avoid that by just bending our wrist a little bit like this. So that way we still can see the yo-yo, we can still see where the string's lining up, and that way when we make that L shape here, we launch it back out and our hand stays to the outside of our body, and we can keep doing the trick like that. Whoops. Now if you're practicing this trick and you find that you're running out of spin, so it looks something like this, you're going through it, feeling mad confident, and then this happens, well, that just means you didn't throw the yo-yo hard enough. So it's going to take a pretty solid throw to be able to do this trick. So when we throw it down, you can hear the yo-yo spinning pretty fast. That's going to give me enough time to be able to get through the trick. and then pull it back to the hand. When we are ready to pull the yo-yo back to the hand, there's a few different ways to do that. So we can either just stop the trick and then pull the yo-yo back up, or the other way to do it's a little more flashy. So what we can actually do is pull our opposite pointer finger right out from the string, and that's going to cause the yo-yo to shoot back to our hands. So the way that looks while doing the trick, remember, keep that L shape, launch it out. Right when we launch the yo-yo all the way out in front of us, that's when we slide our hand out and catch the yo-yo like that. So one more time. If you guys think you got this down, here's a quick variation you can try out. So as we're launching the yo-yo forward and bringing it back into the string, you can actually bring the yo-yo around your head and launch it back out. So again, it's all the same steps, creating the L shape and launching it out, but we're taking advantage of the yo-yo sitting on the string by swinging it around our head and then launching it back out in front of us that way. So the way that's gonna look all together is like this. Woo! And that's it, guys. That's going to wrap up episode number 15 of Learn To Yo-Yo. If you guys enjoyed learning this trick, go ahead and drop a comment down below and let me know how the practice is going. And I'll see you guys in the next episode of Learn To Yo-Yo.